Well, if you're ring out in space or playing with string, you did your homework, thereby earning one last show before you turn in. Last chance to be entertained. Sleep is good, but TV helps your brain. TV's
Good whatever to you whenever you are watching this episode, the first episode of Successful Failures. I am your host, Dylan, and joining me is Secret Snake, revealing his face, I believe, for the first time. How are you doing, Secret Snake?
I'm doing well. And first face reveal, you get the exclusive.
Fantastic. A worldwide exclusive of Secret Snake, also revealing your first name, Tommy, as well. And you passed me along these VHS tapes of TV Funhouse. And I, at some point, had the idea to cover this because this is a failure. There were 8 episodes, and that's what we're doing on this show. Shows that we consider to be an artistic success, but were a commercial failure. And TV Funhouse, a spinoff of Saturday Night Live's Saturday TV Funhouse, very popular cartoons that then got their own show and didn't really make as big a splash as one would hope.
No, and that's like you said, there's a creative direction to this show that once we get into it, some will be like, oh, okay, I see why it didn't quite pick up. But
I do have a clip prepared, as I call it, an artistic success. So here's a little example of the high art that we will get from TV Funhouse.
Rottweiler was into now. Nice place, huh, Mr. Foggy? Oh, sweet. You ready? Sure.
We get a lot of that. A lot of the animals humping, doing drugs. This is kind of like Wonder Chosen, where it's a kids show, but that is absolutely not for kids. They brought over the cartoons, what got them this series, and then the wraparound, kind of like a Pee-wee's Playhouse for adults with animal puppets, the Anapals, who don't want to be there at all.
Doug is thoroughly, the main human is thoroughly disrespected in this show. So much. And I mean, the second episode, they blatantly ignore him. Or no, I think they're not even there at that point.
The first episode, that is, they have a different theme for every episode. And Western Day is the first episode. And while Doug is there ready to talk about Western, the animals, we're off to Tijuana. That's what we're going to do. We're going to cover 4 today and then come back in 2 weeks and cover the second half of the TV Funhouse series. So the first 4 episodes, Western Day, Hawaii Day, Christmas Day, and Mexico Day. The Anapals come up with different ways to just completely 100% ignore Doug and not even be there for the show they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, no, and they always have a good excuse of why they don't need to be there. My favorite
Tijuana is a great excuse.
That was a good one, and the Christmas episode was a very good one too. I think by the 3rd episode is where they start getting into the money-making scheme kind of plot line, like almost in an Ed, and Eddie way. Instead of jawbreakers, they're always trying to make cash in some weird way.
The Christmas episode, I thought they were on a mission to make cash because they synthesize Doug's Christmas cheer into a drug. But no, at first they're just ready to get high, and the powder of Christmas cheer doesn't hit them. They start freebasing it, and then once they get high, then they start selling it to other animals on the street.
That was that. And in the 4th episode in Mexican Day, I believe they were trying to make money on rare reptile eggs.
Yeah, the restaurant we see a few times of you eat what you are. And they come across an endangered species. Dave is an absolute dickhead of an endangered lizard, and he just rips his tail off and tells them, "Serve up my tail for me. Don't worry, it grows back."
Yeah, no, he comes in being a dick. I think he kicked out there was a chimp eating a chimp brain.
Very much like Indiana
dish.
Jones and the Temple of Doom, eating the chimp brain, which was obviously Jello, even in the high budget Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Temple of Doom, rather, the monkey brain Jello concoction. So, as I said, we have the episodes that have the very popular cartoons. So we'll focus on those first. The very first cartoon in the episode 1 is Wonder Man, a parody of Superman. And this is a funny premise that they have here. I have a clip of the intro, which is just
clips too. Oh, you're a man, dude. You're the man.
Yeah, I was up pretty late last night pulling clips, and I'm glad you suggested doing it in half because I wouldn't have had clips for the second half. So we're going to dive into these first 4 episodes pretty deeply in this 90-minute, 2-hour, however long we're here.
Ready to go.
Don't want to overstay our welcome, but about 90 minutes, 2 hours. Hope you stick around with us here. So here we have the intro of Wonder Man and the premise.
Wonder Man, fighting evil as it comes. Wonder Man. Wonder Man, whose daytime identity is that of Henry Moore, fights a constant crusade to stop crime and get his alias laid. Well, I certainly hope you don't hook up with Henry Moore.
Who?
Henry Moore. I hear he's hung like a horse. He's actually too big for some women to handle, though most are incredibly satisfied.
I don't know why you're telling me this.
It's important information. You need to know.
He absolutely is hammering it home. No subtlety whatsoever. This Henry Moore guy, you've got to go fuck him. And Wonder Man, he throws her boyfriend up into the sun, sends a telegram to be like, "I found the love of my life. Goodbye," and ends with humping underneath the covers.
Oh yes. Oh, Wonder Man. Oh, I'm sorry. I got your name wrong. He's like, somehow that just doesn't bother me.
He would be happy whichever name that she called out during those, and very much the feel of the Saturday TV Funhouse. They also got into a different type of sketches that wasn't reminiscent of the Saturday TV Funhouse, but went along very well with the premise of the kids show that they're doing. The second little cutaway they had was a mnemonic device, and they did this a few times. I enjoyed it very much every single time that they got into teaching mnemonic devices as a PSA. And here's the one of how do you remember how species and phylums are classed together? This is just confusing.
Phylum, class, order, family, genus, species are easier to remember as "please come over for gay sex." Now you'll never forget it. Look out, biology.
Of course. She is not going to forget, "Please come over for gay sex." As long as it is multiple choice, she has got those answers completely down.
Well, thank God for multiple choice, man. That's how I got through school. I just played the games. Hello, everybody.
There was actually
too. Hello. Sorry.
Yes. Hello. Thank you
hello.
for joining this first episode of Successful Failures, and hope you will come back for part 2 in 2 weeks. I actually had one of these in Health 101, the Taylor Swift song Romeo. I remembered homeostasis through singing it with the Taylor Swift song of the time. Romeo, blah blah. Homeostasis is where your body. That's where your body wants to be.
Tay coming through every time.
So the mnemonic device. Thank you, TV Funhouse, for giving me an idea of how to remember some of those things that I may not remember. And when we get to another episode, I do have another clip of those. They have 3 or 4 different segments of these cartoons or child show like segments, like those mnemonic devices. This one also would have been very much at home on Saturday TV Funhouse. This one entitled "The Baby, the Immigrant, and the Guy on Mushrooms."
Yes, this is probably one of my favorite from this episode, but in the whole series, it's just too good. And if I was better at editing, believe me, I would have put Ray's in this.
Actually, I should put that on my regular drops. The 3 O's that we will get right here. And when I was watching this, I thought, the premise of these 3 confused adults and a baby. This is just like the child at the construction site type of Looney Tunes. And of course, that's where the finale is of this. But this first clip is just presenting what the entire thing is. And for me, it didn't get old. I think it was about 2 minutes long, and they just repeated this same gag, but it did not get old for me.
Okay, Artemis, no, I'm going out for a spell. You watch the baby, the immigrant, and the guy on mushrooms while I'm gone. All right? Good kitty. Goodbye, you 3.
Yeah, now that you mention that, I think that drop absolutely belongs on my regular board to drop in at any time. Another fun thing about this cartoon is Mom's legs. We don't have it here, but
while I'm gone. All right.
Perspective.
Yeah, just like the cartoons of the time, she towers over all 3 of them, not just the baby, where you just see the legs.
Yeah. They're the immigrant and the guy on mushrooms are the same size as the cat. I'm pretty sure, right?
Everyone everyone comes up to the knee of Mom because that was the style of the time.
Yes.
And another little fun thing is like everything gets them the same distraction. The cat's going to take a little cat nap, so he just turns on a screensaver, and we get that same reaction from a screensaver. And they go over and see clothes on a clothesline. Then they walk out into traffic. The guy on mushrooms, he isn't impressed, so he drops another mushroom.
Yes, he just it's the most comical mushroom too. It's always like the red capped with the white dots, which is
the cliche Mario mushroom.
Yes.
Once that was established in 82, 84, that is and that is a magic mushroom.
Yeah.
Mario isn't actually getting bigger. That magic mushroom just makes him believe that he's bigger.
It's very Alice in Wonderland, 100%, dude.
And we had one more of these little sketches, 3 or 4 per episode. And this one was narrated by a child of what the policeman does, informing other children the job of a policeman and going through his day. And I pulled this clip of the end of the policeman's day.
Then, before he goes home from work, he shoots the governor. That's what a policeman does. I'll tell you what he doesn't do. He doesn't control the weather. That's a chef.
Not understanding exactly what everyone does, but the child saw that the policeman shot the mayor, so just under the impression, that's what he does every day, is he is going to just shoot the mayor. It looks like he fails. The mayor doesn't fall, and the mayor is packing heat as well.
Right. Oh, yeah, dude, it's New York. You have to. It's, especially back in the 2000s. That's when the show first aired, was right at Y2K.
I think it was in December, either 99 or 2000.
Right.
I should have wrote that down here in my show notes. But I saw it was December, either 99 or 2000. And Comedy Central was giving a few things a nice little try at the time. And many of them, they didn't stick around. The Man Show being one of the few things. And
yeah, that made it.
Yeah, I'm happy for the Man Show sticking around for that. Had to just put in my power there for a moment. Little technical mistake on my part.
Careful.
But the Man Show, like everything came on at 10:30 on Wednesdays. That was when to debut these things to hope they would be successful. Because South Park,
right there,
that's been their cash cow. That's what got it on the map. That's what got people to call up their cable operators saying, "Hey, we need Comedy Central." So the 10:30 on Wednesday, Man Show was able to survive a move. But TV Funhouse didn't get that move at all.
And I think a lot of future episodes are going to be that way. It's going to be, there was a fantastic lead-in show, and then they just couldn't find something to stick in between that and the next thing. And this was right there. It was supposed to be a South Park thing. Kenny versus Spenny. That was a South Park,
and that was actually on Canadian TV, I believe. Kenny versus Spenny.
Yes.
Then Matt and Trey got on the executive producer end of that to bring it over to Comedy Central. I think that lasted for more than a season, but yeah, not long at all. The Kenny versus Spenny show where they just fucked with each other.
Dude, it was mostly Kenny wrecking Spenny mentally, because he was like the straight man trying to be not cheating, and the other guy was underhanded as shit. So it worked out.
I do remember that. Yeah, where the one was just always immediately went to trying to fuck with the other one and cheat him out of the win. So yeah, that was a bit more successful, and they did go back to Canadian television. I think they had a falling out with Matt and Trey as well, Kenny and Spenny. I think I remember hearing that. So I think there's some sour grapes between Kenny and Spenny and Matt and Trey. That's my Bush. Not even another Matt and Trey show could survive. I fucking loved it. I think a lot of people just did not get That's My Bush, where it wasn't lampooning politics as much as it was lampooning sitcom premises.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, it was that. That's probably one of my favorite formats of television, was the sitcom. One of the things that died the slowest death other than radio was a sitcom.
And it's still around in a bastardized form of things like How I Met Your Mother. I was a fan of that. It's a dumb sitcom, but I liked that for a while. I hear some people can go back to that, but that last season was so fucking awful, and it's such a shitty ending. I've not gone back to that. Big Bang Theory, big dumb sitcom. Only about 3 or 4 seasons I could take of that, and holy
I agree.
shit.
Same thing.
It still gets monster ratings and repeats over on TBS.
I think 5 years is probably the lifespan on any typical sitcom. You've been through it all by 5 years, and you're adding in a kid or some type of new character to try to freshen it up.
Adding in a kid sometimes is a network mandate. Covering Futurama with Annie O'Ryan, it seems like having a kid Kubert was a network mandate because they had his episode and then they almost never went to him again. They did not want Kubert.
Right.
And 5 seasons is what I've said as well. Like 5 to 8 seasons seems to be the nice bell-shaped curve of a sitcom lifespan. And How I Met Your Mother, 9 seasons, and that 9th season fucking god awful.
I gave up by then.
It was just in concept. It was a bad idea. But this not a sitcom. As I was saying, like Wonder Chosen at least had a few seasons. I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. Wonder Chosen, but the predecessor TV Funhouse didn't get that few seasons as we would have hoped, especially with as much as people loved. Saturday Night Live was on fire. Saturday Night Live
at that time too.
From very popular to just, and it's done that many times, of the up and down. And Robert Smigel's TV Funhouse was part of one of the big peaks of people absolutely adoring Saturday Night Live. So big hopes for this show from me and others. But I think it might have been the wraparound segments that turned people off, of these puppets just doing debaucherous shit.
That I agree, and that's where I was trying to get it. You mentioned South Park. I think they took it to a whole nother level here with the puppets and stuff. The in between bits like this is pretty good. One thing about the police officer, he just jumps into the East River at 3 p.m. and then cries himself to sleep for no reason. There's just no explanation for that part. He just does.
Yeah, he dances around naked, and then after the dancing naked, he cries himself to sleep. But his day still isn't over. This was the end of the day, which I just showed.
yeah, I know. It was in the middle of the day, and then, and like you said, the mnemonic sketches are really good too. The one I'm trying to remember off the top of my head is mothers come over for squirrel sex or something like that that live in Arkansas. It was like the skeleton of the body.
Squirrels because she lives in Arkansas. Something like that.
Rural Arkansas. Yeah.
I forget what the mnemonic device was for, but I definitely remember that mother eats squirrels because she lives in rural Arkansas. So that mnemonic device actually failed me, but I remember.
Yeah. It's good. That's why it's so good, though. It will catch you off guard and make you laugh your ass off. I'm sorry. All right, let's keep moving forward.
So the wraparounds, the animals went to Tijuana. They made a pit stop at a cockfighting ring where the chicken, he's like a high school athlete, like Al Bundy. Like, I can do this, and he gets his ass fucking handed to him. They make another pit stop at a bordello, and they've got a little turtle friend who always takes the pipes. Yes. Where they filmed them flushing the turtle down the toilet, and he just launches out of the toilet wherever their destination was and joins the gang who took a car or something.
Yes,
and,
they drove.
I had the bordello clip earlier, and we go back to the cat. It's kind of a non sequitur of the big fat cat, Mr. Whiskers, talking about the birthing problems that his sister is having. And here we see her actually giving birth to a litter of kittens.
Oh, you're gonna...
Oh, wow!
The girl!
Jackass! Wow!
Here's one more coming.
Obviously, Robert Smigel. I love thinking of the technical aspects of the person underneath the cat puppet feeding out these little kittens to jump out into the bucket like they're giving birth, very much human style. Her just cursing out her husband for doing this to him.
Oh, another girl.
All right!
Oh, that's a beauty. You're doing quite well. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. No, you can't go back in there.
And you hear Robert Smigel kind of laugh a little bit because animals are going to do what animals are going to do. And the cat is ready to just get comfortable back in that little hole that it was in. It's trying to go back in the womb. So they've got to improvise a little bit. I think you heard two laughs of someone from Offset and a little giggle from Robert Smigel there. It's like, you're not supposed to do that, kitty. But we've got professional voice actresses here because I don't know who the lady is voicing the cat. Should have looked that up. She just goes along with that as well.
Free, honey! He's a coward like you!
I don't
able to roll with the
so
punches.
Great. Yeah.
And I don't know how many takes they did of that. Obviously a mistake, but they were like, this worked.
Yeah, it did. It straight worked. It was a good quick improvisation, and that kitten wasn't having it. It was like, I'm not ready for life. I'm going back inside where it's warm. But like you were
that hole. That seems like something a kitten would like. They don't want to be out in the light. They want to go and curl up. And working with, I think Animal Actors was the agency. There were two orange cats that they would bring on set. And I remember the name of George the cat because George the cat was a fucking superstar. They would try the other cat, and he would work sometimes. But George the cat was a fantastic cat actor and would do usually what they had a little beeper to get the cat's attention for him to come over, but the cat wouldn't go to his mark with the beeper. Then they smeared a little bit of cat food at the cat's mark. George went right for it and got to his mark with that. Just needed to try a few different strategies with cat actor George. Whereas this little kitten, I don't think he was trained enough as a kitten to be as on his feet as George the cat was.
No. How far is that? Was that the full clip? Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a payoff.
Yeah.
So if anybody
I didn't
to
want to
watch
go
this-
over 30 seconds because YouTube has been kind of a dick with striking. But that's right. Before we go to the next clip, you're right. There's a nice big payoff of all these cats coming out. And then at the very end, a puppy looking exactly like the doctor comes out.
It's really good. And then he starts yelling at her now. She's screaming at him the whole time while she's giving birth. But now the husband's like, "You cheating whore. How did this happen?" He's like, "I'm sorry." Like, the doctor's all upset. And then they, like you said, it's non sequitur, but that's how it led in. It's like, oh, she's having problems now. Like, they don't mention what it is. They just kind of let you figure it out after showing you this. They don't really explicitly make the connection for you. They just kind of jump to this,
Yeah, they've got. They weren't able to fit this silliness into the debauchery of a cockfight and a bordello down Tijuana adjacent, but they had this idea. So yeah, just non sequitur, and they did that a few times to get in some funny jokes. The episode with the kangaroo, I have that clip as well. I think it's episode 3. So we'll get to the kangaroo non sequitur as well. But meanwhile, back at the TV Funhouse with Doug, this is one of the gags that you specifically mentioned was Zabu versus his tail.
This
the
is
one
one of my favorite
Annapelle
running gags throughout the whole show, every episode.
Yeah, he's there almost every episode. They've got him on a little swivel here. Let me. There we go.
There you go.
I opened that in the wrong window. So Doug is all excited. The one Annapelle that hasn't abandoned him to go and fuck some chihuahuas down in a bordello is Zabu, who is obsessed with his tail.
Zabu, are you all ready for some Western fun?
Not right now. I'm so close to catching my tail. Damn you! Damn your tail!
Fucking love that swivel. And Robert Smigel's voice just so distinct. He plays a couple different Annapelles on this.
Yeah, and what accent is that? I don't know, but
it sounds
really
New
good.
Yorky, somewhere New Yorky. It sounds like to me. I'm not exactly sure that it makes sense since he got into Saturday Night Live. I don't know much of Robert Smigel outside of his puppet work, and being part of Conan. That's where Triumph the Insult Comic Dog originated. Was on the Conan O'Brien show, doing some man on the street segments, and we do have some man on the street segments that they did with the puppets. But I have a few more clips of the dog chasing his tail, because that was like the main focus back at the TV Funhouse.
These two dogs in the background here are champs. There's a guy behind that couch. You don't see him, but you know he's there, and you'll see why here in a second.
Yeah, that's why I pulled it. Once again, these dog actors that if you know what to look for, even if you don't, you can probably tell that they're being coached to chase their tail along with Zabu here.
Hey, this was part of the show where there was going to be a big hoedown.
And that was just a real quick one. They went to a different camera angle then, but yeah, they're looking at their trainer there, and the trainer, come on, do a spin. They're just happy to talk to their trainer and get the treat that they're promised. So, all right, we'll do the spin. And you want us to spin again? All right, we'll do the spin again. And Zabu, he doesn't let up. I love that very Wile E. Coyote-esque. He's sent away to the Acme Company here to catch his tail.
What you doing there, Zabu?
Oh, no! You'll tell the tale! You're in cahoots with the tail! You make me sick, you two!
It's a conspiracy.
Yes, that's why I love it, dude. It's too good.
You're helping the tail. That is why I have not caught him yet. Because you, Doug, you are in cahoots with the tail.
His tail is a separate entity attached to him, and it is torturing him because it wags nonstop. He has to have the tail.
And I feel like at some point he catches his tail. I haven't watched the last 2 episodes yet, so we'll see if I'm misremembering that or not. But there we have the Acme tail trap that he is assembling in Wile E. Coyote fashion to catch this roadrunner of a tail.
That's right. That's exactly what this is.
I'd sure like it if I were a tail.
And there we have the finished device, Acme Tail Massager for 12-inch tails. So they have different size models for this tail massager from Acme.
Because animals can read.
This one can. It depends which one of the Anapals we're talking about. Some of the Anapals can read. Some of the Anapals cannot.
I'll help you over to it. You see? You just stick your tail self into it. Right there, look. You just get your hand into this opening like this. Don't you? Ah! Damn you! Don't you whack at me, you cocky son of a bitch! I'll kill you!
And once again, just showing the Roadrunner a little too in depth. This is how you do it. But for the gag, he didn't need to gnaw off his paw. We're going to get him just immediately back on the swivel.
And like you were saying, the voice acting.
What was that?
His voice acting is top, dude. He's just screaming at that tail. Like he hits those high notes,
Just so angry. Like it was one of the Hanna-Barbera people that did the Tom and Jerry scream. I can't even imitate it properly, especially not with neighbors and no audio foam to try to imitate that Tom scream. But Robert Smigel's voice, even though anyone who knows Triumph, which was probably everyone watching this show, knew that was Smigel, it still works very fucking well.
Yeah, that's his character.
So that was episode 1 of TV Funhouse. Episode 2 is Hawaii Day. I just have 4 clips from that one. And all the Anapals are gone except for the turtle at the beginning of this episode. Right. He's too slow, wasn't able to get away in time before Doug started the show and is trying to literally rope them in Cowboy Day. But in Hawaii Day, trying to rope them in, they're going to cook a big boar. And the turtle, I'm Muslim. I can't. Oh, but what about the rest of all Muslim? Yep. Sorry, can't join you for the pig roast.
Yep. Assalamu alaikum. What does that mean? That's aloha. Or no, that's Muslim for aloha.
Doug knowing more about the Muslim religion than the turtle.
Who claims
the turtle,
to be?
We've got to go and pray to God. You mean Allah? Huh? What? Oh, yeah, that guy. Just absolutely paper thin, but Doug is just so happy and trusting that it doesn't even occur to him that this is a shitty excuse. And this is the episode with the kangaroo cross-dressing. Okay. I believe they are at the they are at the You Eat What You Are restaurant. Where's the kangaroo? Oh, his wife caught him cross-dressing. Which I just have the end here. They go into a montage of him putting on a pouch, and
it's very smart. It's so smart because I like at first you're like, what is going on? And then you realize he just kind of does this, and then he starts dancing all sexy, and they're like, oh, of course that's how a kangaroo would cross dress. That's all they need.
Just a pouch,
marsupial gut thing happening there,
and bam, male is a female. Actually, knowing the biology of those, it's weird. those little teeny baby kangaroos who come out a little teeny tiny, but we're not here to talk science unless we have a segment telling us about science here in TV Funhouse. And they were playing a song, so that was another reason I just got the very end here of the wife walking in on the kangaroo cross dressing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forget what song.
Honey, it was a gift for you. I was just trying it on.
And kangaroos will fuck you up. Coming in just looking like it is ready to fight that actual kangaroo that they got on set, because kangaroos will fuck you up.
Dude, I've seen some of them just relentlessly. There was a guy that punched a kangaroo because it had his dog. It was like holding a dog and was fucking him up. And the dude just he really did. He just cold cocked the kangaroo in the jaw and it stopped. It literally stunned the kangaroo. It was so hilarious. But
yeah, pretty much vicious, anything. Man. If you give it a punch in the face, it will phase it for at least a little bit.
Yeah, and this dude wasn't screwing around. He really nailed this kangaroo. But real quick about the show, that's the best part to me is that it's like 50-50. There's almost always a live animal in every shot that provides just enough element of chaos to keep me watching. Like in the Tijuana, from episode 1, real quick, there was a boxer that Robert Schmeigel was like, he was like, they were coming through. And then this boxer starts growling at him a bit. And he's like, hey, it's a free country. And then the boxer turns to like bite at him and they cut away hard.
I wonder if he was kind of badly trained, if he was trying to bite him, because I would imagine that the growl was on purpose, but it might have just been a fucking agitated dog.
I think they had to work at that point because there was so much going on. There was chickens. There was another dog sleeping. The chocolate lab.
They had to keep that dog from fucking up the real chicken in the cockfight, as well as our puppet chicken.
Exactly. Sorry. All right. And like same thing with this kangaroo. It's like one wrong turn, somebody's going to get a foot to the face.
Knowing how background acting works, that's actually something funny I thought of in the Tijuana scene. As it opens up and they're panning the camera, someone pushed a dog to be like some background movement. So it's really fun adding the actual animal elements. And a quick note to Annie O'Ryan, do not get suplexed by a kangaroo in water. If you see a kangaroo in water, it is just ready to fucking drown you. Its legs are super strong, and it's got the idea. If something, I am safe here. Something comes to fuck with me, dead.
Yeah, no, I'm not messing. I'm in Ohio, so we're all right. I think I'm not going to be anywhere near. There's a zoo here, but I'm not going anywhere near a kangaroo.
Got a little bit of internet fuck-uppery. Oh, there, you're back.
Did it? Sorry.
But yeah, look how fucking muscular. It's just so intimidating when this kangaroo shows up in a dress, because of course we've got to dress the wife kangaroo for the part. Kangaroos are fucking intimidating.
They're very frightening.
Yes, they do understand drowning, Annie. They that's one of their safe spaces is in a little body of water in the middle. Look at this boar coming to eat me. Ha ha ha, I'm having boar tonight. I don't know if they're predators or not. I don't know what their diet is. But that's the only clip I actually have of the wraparounds. We do have, before we get to the cartoons, the wraparound, Chicky the chicken, one of his little chicks, he catches him jerking off. And he's so embarrassed, he runs away from home.
And joins a cult.
Yeah, what's the worst thing that can happen? And they show him joining a cult. There's some pretty ladies out front of the cult to help lure people in. And he got caught jerking off. Of course, he's ready to get absolutely entranced by some ladies. So they go on. Oh, I'm actually surprised that I didn't pull the man on the street. They had a little man on the street.
When they were looking for him.
Yeah, calling out, looking for the chick.
Yeah, and those are always great too, because they are literally, in some cases, harassing people on the street with puppets.
And my favorite is the Christmas. I definitely pulled a couple of the harassing on Christmases. We will get to them assaulting people on the street with puppets in the Christmas episode. But yeah, I guess it wasn't entertaining enough for me to feel the need to pull that man on the street of them looking for the lost chick, who then he's in the cult. They find the cult in this doing this big ceremony that they're going to save the chick, except for the fat cat. The fat cat is just trying to eat the small little chickens. And stop it, Mr. Whiskers. We're here to save my son. But it doesn't have a happy ending. Aliens come and abduct all of the cult members who they were calling to, including Chicky. But Mr. Whiskers does get to eat all the little chicken testicles.
Yes,
that was part of the ceremony, was to castrate them, and they've just got like a small pile of victuals or something to be these
I don't know
chicken
what
testicles.
it is. Chickpeas.
Yeah, little chickpeas.
Yeah, and that's it. Depending on who it is, it did end kind of awful. But if you were going aboard the alien spaceship, depending on what happens there, who knows?
If Mr. Chicky was full into the cult at that point and brainwashed, that's what he wanted. If he took his testicles off and left it for Mr. Whiskers to have as a meal while the aliens got him, he is brainwashed enough. Whatever those aliens are doing for him, calling up that getting up to the mothership, was what he wanted. So that was the wraparounds. We had. I fucking love the first cartoon that they had. The private investigators of Downey, Kidder, and Haish.
I'm desperate.
Robert Downey Jr. at this time, he has made an incredible resurgence. He was known for being a great actor who's a complete fuck up.
I mean, really bad too. Yeah, he woke up in somebody's kid's bedroom at one point, and that's kind of what this is. This sketch
that's
is
why
about.
they paired these three together. Was that they all went on rampages in Los Angeles. Could have had Artie Lang here with the rampage that he did. I love hearing that story full on the Stern Show. Hopefully it's still on YouTube somewhere, the two rampages that Artie Lang went to. So he could have been part of this, but Artie Lang and Robert Downey Jr. both turned it around. It was actually Iron Man who Favreau took a big chance on getting Robert Downey Jr. in and completely turned it around. But here is when he was down on his luck. Margot Kidder, her role in the Superman movies as Lois Lane was reduced because she was becoming such a terror, and she apparently did it nude a few times because they referenced that as well. Should I get naked? Choice is up to you, Kidder. And Haish, her drunkenness got her killed. So,
jeez.
Yeah, she drunk drove. It was actually Who Are These Podcasts featured her last appearance right before she died in a fiery car crash, and she was slurring and all fucked up. I believe this is before she got with Ellen. Ellen was able to straighten up. What a choice of words. Ellen was able to straighten up Anne Heche there for a while, but Anne Heche went back to this type of drunken wandering around.
I'm desperate. I'll pay anything for you to wander aimlessly through my neighbors' yards and houses.
Heche, this is you. You throw up here, here, and here. Take 2 tabs of ecstasy, turn up Woodland, stagger around this fire hydrant 10 times. Break into this house, rub lipstick all over your face, and collapse in the bathtub.
Piece of cake.
I do love to stagger around the fire hydrant 10 times. Yeah. We need to be in character for this. And really, they're not in character for this. They crash into each other's cars. They get fucked up and they wander around. They're looking for this woman's lost dog. And Margot Kidder is the one that finds it and beats it to death. They found the dog. It wasn't in the contract to deliver the live dog.
Right. That was a good bit when they all like back out into each other and then just stumble away from their collective wreck to like go investigate. Like they don't even drive into
cars. Looking like we're getting into action. We're all going to pull out just a 3-way smash together. And in that time of when they're just completely fine getting into their cars to those few seconds in the car, smash, just stumbling, bumbling around.
It was like a Superman change, but car accident instead of a phone booth.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonder Man wasn't there to help pick up on that grieving lady, but they found her dog, and in the final scene, they're eating the dog. They cooked up the dog, they're eating it, and it ends off with their next case walking in. Can you guys help me find my son? Of course, with the implication, well, we'll find him.
Yeah, exactly.
Chomping down on the dog leg.
Everybody loves a good cannibal joke.
Yes. So that was the first of 3 of the cartoon segments in this episode of TV Funhouse. And I pulled the man on the street segment on this. I was incorrect. So before we get to the other cartoons, I had this labeled wrong. I did pull one of the man on the street bits of them looking for Chicky, and here it is.
He's about 5 inches tall. 4 inches tall. Good looking kid. Just a pack of Rolos in. Envelado ticket, please.
He's just very confused, and him not being mic'd up is how you can tell that this isn't a setup. This is not an actor. They ran into this man's shop and were able to get permission to film there, but he is still just very confused of what's going on.
Can you imagine working at the store and like 3 dudes show up with puppets? We'll give you like $100. Just stand there and react. And then he goes, okay. And then this happens.
Yeah, they've got the petty cash to be like, hey, can you lock the doors and let us film here and just react to us?
For 15, 20 minutes, it's not even a planned thing, I think. It's just like, we picked this store. You know what I'm saying? Like they just walked in because they knew a guy that worked at a place that would be good for this.
And yeah, they probably had it scouted out a little bit. But yeah, they just went on the street with these puppets and decided this man's shop, we're going to invade.
How much are these?
The chocolate covered cherry was too expensive.
They're not having it. So going back to the cartoon segments, I didn't pull any clips from the anti-pooping PSA. Where they had
it's such a sin. You shouldn't do that.
And it is in the Bible. That was a joke on The Simpsons. Have you, Reverend
really?
Lovejoy, have you actually sat down and read this thing? It is a sin to go to the bathroom. So it's actually based on fact. The anti-pooping PSA, where it's as if he's jacking off, going into the toilet to take a dump.
Exactly. It's that equivalent. And that's really in the Bible. That's not okay.
I thought it was just a joke in The Simpsons. Of course, I haven't done the research myself, but according to someone that I listened to, they're like, "Yep, pooping is a sin according to the Bible." That's probably just a translation problem because there's a few translation issues that we just take as gospel because English was not the first language. You got to take little liberties as you're translating it from one language to another, so that we'd have to go to the original Latin version to find out if indeed it really is a sin or not. And yeah, treating it like jerking off or having sex. They actually have a ceremony with the guy in church at the end. When you do take a bowel movement the proper way, it will feel all that much better.
I always enjoy a good poop, but I don't find it sinful. I think not wiping should be the sin. The first part we're good with. The second part, you need to make sure you clean yourself.
When I'm in a big depression, pooping is the best part of my day. Like all those little things, like you should. Oh yeah, that helps it along. Help me, coffee. I feel awful. Give me that sweet release of turds that make me feel better of myself. So those people who say, and it is accurate. You can make this go quicker if you just do the squat instead of sitting. This is the best part of my day. No, I'm not going to squat. I need this to last.
Awful.
So the final cartoon in this episode was a classic cartoon commercial spelled with 3 Ks. Why not? Because little gag in there.
Oh, this is good. I like this one.
roach commercial, the roach killer commercial, and this runs a little bit longer than what I want to, but in my little test, it didn't pull up any copyrights. So be nice to me, YouTubes.
Martha, my darling, after years of scrimping and saving, we can finally afford to retire.
Even infestations that have been plaguing your house for years don't stand a chance.
And I love how well that works. They're finally retiring. So these roaches have been in your house forever. Fucking kill this couple of roaches before they can live out their golden years.
After scrimping and saving. Just one spray, it's all over.
Their whole roach life.
I will be at your side for all eternity.
And that animation there, let's get that even bigger of that corpse. Now,
I know in my heart of hearts that this is true.
No! So attack with attack.
Will you accept Jesus Christ as your personal savior?
I love the very jerky animation there as well of this can's not working. There's like no frames in between the back and forth, just a very jerky, it's here, which is a little bit of cheapo animation, but it's funnier than if they would have animated it better to me.
It reminds me of Monty Python.
Yes,
like when they do the animated bits in between sketches, it's low budget but familiar to me, so I like it definitely. And the next part that's about to
happen. And once again, a great yell of them in absolute pain as we go to Plan B of killing them. If the aerosol is messing up, good old Smash still works.
Yes.
But before he can accept Jesus Christ into his life, so he's going to roach hell or roach purgatory at best.
Well, reincarnation, I don't know if that works for Christian roaches or not, but here's hoping.
Well, Christian roaches don't believe in that, but Christian roaches, everything in the universe recycles itself. Your spirit gets recycled. You'll if you were a good roach, you'll come back as like a cat or something. If you were a bad roach, you'll come back as an aphid and be a pet to ants.
I see.
I think ants are the only other animal that has pets. Humans have pets, and ants have aphids that they domesticate.
That's crazy, dude. Nature's weirder than you can imagine, especially when you were like how you were talking about kangaroos and stuff. That's a whole episode on its own. Just weird nature.
What's even weirder about that is the reason that ants domesticated aphids is because they eat nectar and just poop pure sugar. So they'll have their little aphid farm and then tickle their buttholes to get them to poop directly in their mouths. So just a fun little nature fact there of aphids and ants.
I'm going to go outside with the magnifying glass and not burn them just so I can see if this is true.
If you can get some ants and some aphids, you can really get up close and seeing them eat directly out of the aphid's butthole. That is true. I'm highly fascinated by ants. Ants are going to take over the planet. Ants with their what do you call it? The communal intelligence.
Yes,
I'll remember
hive mind.
The hive mind. They can go to space. I believe that ants, given enough time, with their hive mind, could indeed send themselves to space if they wanted to. The way that those ants work, sure, we've got bees and hornets, but they can already fly. They don't have the motivation to build a flying machine to get off the planet as ants would.
Some of those ants that are in the jungle, dude, they build huge ass colonies, like mega cities. So I am on board with this. At some point, there is going to be a model rocket coming out of ant colony in the middle of the Amazon somewhere,
and it would be fun to watch those little test rockets of seeing the Challenger version of the ant rocket.
no. Little ant colony all sad. Oh no.
If
No,
they
I can't do
were
that.
able to break free of gravity, that is a hell of a nature video to just see the model rocket. Okay, it's going to come down. It's getting faster. Oh, it's separating. It's gone.
Stop it. You're making me imagine things that I shouldn't be yet. I'm going to start writing a whole Ants 3 movie if there isn't one already. Ants in space.
Well, we need to be legally distinct from Ants and A Bug's Life. And it's funny how those things come back to back. There's a few times in media where you get the same movie. And Pixar actually canceled one of their movies because of Rango. And theirs was too similar. It was pretty far into development. And they just canned it because of fucking Rango and it being too similar to what they were doing.
Not surprised. Good on Pixar for doing that too, because who knows how much money they would have ended up spending and losing, especially if it was pre-Disney purchase.
I guess that
DreamWorks,
A Bug's Life came out first because we had Ants. A Bug's Life was Pixar, and then like the same idea with Rango, you had Ants and A Bug's Life, and Ants was kind of like a PG-13 type of kids movie, if I remember it. You had the big Sylvester Stallone ant, who's our main character is holding onto his head as he's dying, and the camera pulls back, and he's just fucking a decapitated head.
Yeah, those are the best. That's the kind of stuff I look for in a kids movie, to traumatize young children with cartoons. Like this one.
Nothing will traumatize me more, is more traumatizing as a kid than Short Circuit 2. Holy shit.
Dude. Yeah, that was the worst one. When they beat him down and then he's like all busted and broken. Yeah, that's a tearjerker, man.
Because Johnny Five was very much like a child with the childlike wonderment and learning this world of the humans. So like as a child, you can put yourself in Johnny Five's place of just learning this world and two New Yorkers just coming and beating you with an axe and a fucking sledgehammer.
And then he goes rogue, right? Then he joins a gang, and then he's got chains and a mohawk and all kinds of stuff after that, if I remember. I am resisting the urge. I'm resisting the urge to go over there and grab the laser discs sitting over there of 1 and 2.
He gets rebuilt by Fisher Stevens doing a very offensive Indian impression.
Oh man, I didn't even know. For the longest time, I had no idea that was a white guy under there.
Me neither.
He was doing pretty good until I saw Hackers, and I was like, that guy looks a little familiar. And he plays a real shit in Hackers too. Yeah.
Hackers. Or am I thinking Scanners? That's Scanners with the head explosion.
Hackers, he was like a skateboarding tech CEO in '95. Like that movie was spot on. Oh geez, all right, we're getting distracted again. I got to be careful.
It's a fun little side thing to go down.
Here we go.
Yeah, our next episode up in TV Funhouse is the Christmas Day episode, and the Annapals are there, and Doug is full of Christmas cheer. So, as we mentioned earlier, they want to extract and synthesize this Christmas cheer. So here we've got the same dog doctor that was giving birth to that litter of kittens and one puppy looking exactly like him earlier, that they called in for this home surgery, extracting directly from Doug's spine.
Spinal tap, yep.
Christmas cheer.
Ooh, pretty.
Get your face away from that cheer. We need it pure.
Uh-oh. My leg's starting to get a little numb.
That's gotta be a good sign.
Hey, Doc, I'm planning on going caroling in an hour. Is that okay?
I wouldn't, because I'd be paralyzed. Okie dokie, that's it.
That's not something I'd recommend. You're not walking anymore, sir.
No, and he spends the entire rest of this episode on the ground. Like he's hanging there. Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah, you were about to get there. I found this clip so damn funny. He is decorating the tree, just crawling around with his legs dead behind him, still with the needle in his spine behind him. He's still got the Christmas cheer.
It's so good.
There is more Christmas cheer building itself up in Doug, and he is decorating this Christmas tree.
As far as he can reach.
Looks great from here. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree.
It does look great from there. And the star is as far up as he can get it. They're midway up the tree. He can't dispense the tinsel evenly, but so it's very densely packed here with the paralyzed Doug, still with Christmas cheer after having all they could extract from him extracted to make some drugs. Going to Chickies. He's got 195 sons.
This is
dog.
one of my favorite sons until the unfortunate accident.
They go to him, his chemistry son, and they go room by room. They're able to tell what the son is into by the poster on his wall. It's just
snowboarding.
This one's into wrestling.
That was the one. They're like, well, there was a couple of good ones, and now that they're escaping my brain, but
there was one with a chicken like Playboy model.
Chicky Jr.
Chicky Jr. So he had two pervert sons. One now has no testicles and is up in space somewhere, but he still has another pervert son, Chicky Jr., that is still there in the house. So, yeah, the chemistry son helps them out, extracts the Christmas cheer, puts it in a powder form, and the powder, it isn't hitting them. They're getting upset. What the fuck? Maybe if we freebase it and set himself on fire.
I love that. That's so good. And the little chick has glasses on him. Like, it's adorable. He looks like, you mentioned Looney Tunes earlier, he looks like that Foghorn Leghorn one. With the little
chicken hawk. I'm a chicken hawk.
There's a nerd one where he takes him outside to play baseball, and the kid takes the baseball from Foghorn Leghorn, puts it in his mouth, and then they end up like doing different things. Oh, I'll teach you how to build a model plane. He builds it was a paper plane, and the smart kid flies his paper plane, and all of a sudden it's shooting bullets and shooting down Foghorn Leghorn's paper plane.
Yeah, his just regular ass paper plane taken down in a dogfight in the air by the nerd chick.
Yeah,
I forgot about that one.
He always does math, and then whatever he does outdoes whatever Foghorn Leghorn's trying to get going. It's so great.
Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn just completely full of himself. Now I say, son, let me teach you something here. Where the kid's already got it figured out and on a better level than he has.
Yeah, it's so good, and that's a good one. He's trying to just get out of the cold, so he goes to Widow Hen and starts befriending the kid so he can sleep in her house because his house is a shack. Looney Tunes were so great, and this is why this is so great, because it just takes it to it can be what it is because it's for adults. Looney Tunes kind of got
the Looney Tunes.
Down.
It was, both for kids and adults simultaneously playing before movies in the movie theaters, which was something that was just completely foreign to me. Growing up in a time when they were just shown on television of like, this was in the movies?
Yeah, right. I had no idea. But at the same time, watching Mystery Science Theater, a lot of the stuff they cover are 65, 70 minutes. They're not like what we consider to be a full movie. If it ain't 90 minutes, it ain't a movie anymore. So, those cartoons help fill the time. When you go pay your nickel at the picture show.
They didn't feel the need to make it 2 fucking 3 hours as we do nowadays. Like that newest Batman film. I'm a fan of it, but not 3 fucking hours of it.
I understand. Same with the 6-hour Snyder cut. I'm good.
Yeah, that's too fucking much. Yeah, the 6-hour Snyder cut, he wanted it to be 2 movies. That then they were like, nah, one movie, and brought in fucking Joss Whedon to Whedon it up. Once we got Suicide Squad with James Gunn just doing it fucking perfectly. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy first, and them being like, make it like that. Get us a James Gunn. We've got a Joss Whedon. Close enough. Get in here, Whedon. Fix what Snyder and just such conflicting styles.
Right.
I thought Snyder went too fucking dark in that. I didn't see the first Superman movie, but Superman versus Batman, it had the tone of September 12th, 2001.
Everything's grimdark now, dude. Everything. If it's fantasy, it's got to be dark. If it's superhero, it's got to be dark.
And I know some people did not like Snyder's Watchmen. I was a fan of that. I liked what he did with Watchmen, but Superman versus Batman, not fucking all.
I did enjoy Watchmen, and anybody else who did, there is a animated comic book floating around on YouTube. If you put in the Watchmen animated, it's like they took the stills and made a show out of it. It's pretty good.
But getting back to TV Funhouse, after that little sidetrack, this is my absolute favorite man on the street bit that they did of everything that I watched.
The best one.
Just absolutely assaulting people. The Annapals are now tripping balls after freebasing Christmas cheer, and they just assault New Yorkers with these Christmas carols, unsuspecting people on the street just walking by Radio City Music Hall.
Unsuspected.
What's that?
Well, unsuspected, well-dressed people. It's not like they were harassing any homeless or regular guys. These guys are wearing suits and ties. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, this VHS rip is only 360p, so we don't have in detail, but you can kind of see that this guy just in shock, taken aback by these puppets just running up on him. They probably had him under sheets or something. Like, they can't conceal the camera, but they probably had them kind of concealed. Okay, here's someone well-to-do. Run up right on him and just sing tripping balls on Christmas cheer.
I'll point out my favorite guy when he comes.
I only have two of them, so hopefully it's within these two.
Jingle all the way. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Young birds,
just trying to get away. It's like this guy is one of the Beatles in the 1960s being assaulted by these puppets. No puppets, no Christmas caroling.
He's enjoying it. There was one guy that he was not at all. The first guy was upset. This guy was all right with it. There was another guy who looked like he was getting ready to throw one of them, like just.
And at the end, one of the puppeteers do throw the dog puppet at the person running away.
There was an older lady running away, and he just throws it. Now, I also want to mention that this cannot happen now. If you tried this now, you are likely to get hurt. I think more people are ready to throw hands at somebody who approaches with a puppet.
We'll have to
Tuki's
ask,
very lucky.
I was getting ready to say he's done some Tuki on the street. We will have to ask. I imagine he would keep those scenes in. That would be something to see of someone getting fucking angry at Tuki doing the man on the street stuff. And I've seen Captain Jen E doing some puppet man on the street stuff. But she's just very kind about it. Usually she's just going to Universal City and doing something silly with the Universal City workers. And sometimes Universal City won't let the puppets in there. Disneyland will not. There's actually two people over on TikTok that I've heard try to do some puppet in real life type of stuff. Disneyland will not allow it. Universal City will allow it sometimes. The guy who tried to bring his Jack Dawson mannequin, Universal City was not fucking having it.
That guy's cool, man.
I hope I stumble across that guy again. I gave him a follow on TikTok. If that's a bit, he is fucking committed to that bit. He did a 360 of his room, and you saw all the Titanic merch, all the VHSs.
Dude, he's got he's driving up the copies of VHS Titanic on his own. Same with Red Letter Media and that fucking Nuka movie.
Nuki.
Dude, I was watching Red Letter for so long, and I wanted to write them, hey, can I have one of those for my collection?
Not anymore.
Nope. Yeah. Oh, dude, mother.
And they would. That was a running gimmick where so many people, you got to cover Nuki. You got to cover Nuki. So they had just dozens, maybe hundreds of copies of Nuki that they just threw in a fucking wood chipper.
Wood chipped it. That guy's got more copies of Titanic than they had of Nuki. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, that entire, like, they had one shelf of Nuki. That guy had a 360 room with every shelf stacked with Titanic.
Everything, dude. That guy's crazy. And screw Disney for not letting anybody have fun.
Yeah, like this, having fun with this man on the street assaulting people with Christmas cheer. So the Annapals, they actually need to re-up. Doug's starting to get feeling back in his legs. His foot spasmed. He's starting to feel all right. And they stick another needle in his spine and extract some more Christmas cheer from him and synthesize it once again. And now they have enough Christmas cheer to sell. So some of the man on the street stuff is them going to real animals with this pink powder. Hey, come on, right. $50 a bag. And actually selling it to a puppet sheep. They have the puppet sheep handing over a wad of money to get this Christmas cheer powder in a bag.
The sheep develops a real problem.
The sheep was that's right. Before we get to what the sheep was doing, the rooster put a bunch of Christmas cheer all over his rooster dick and was going to fuck a whore. But the sheep needed that Christmas cheer. They're running short, so he starts just going to town on the rooster cock, on the cock, if you will. And the rooster's down for it. I don't think if he was sober, he would be down for a man getting on his cock. But he was down for it, just tripping balls on Christmas cheer. And yeah, then that next day, they're all still hungover. They're still feeling the effects, tripping balls still. And the sheep has to be a mall Santa.
Right, that's right.
Don't freak out. Don't freak out. and he freaks out. A little kitten, an adorable little kitten is on his lap. And you see his vision of, hey, I'm some grass. Graze on me, eat me. And he starts eating the kitten to put them all into terror.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those bits that kind of maybe got lost on people at the time, but it's so funny. Like and I want to bring up the point. There was somebody throwing up in the toilet and somebody else was like, shut up, like just yelled at him.
Well, what was really
I've
funny
been in
about...
a room like that. I've woken up in a room very much similar to that, to somebody just waking up the house to them throwing up from the night before.
What's especially funny of the animal throwing up in the toilet, it was a real sheep that they must have put some feed on the inside of the toilet. Yeah. That it was the real sheep in the toilet.
It was way down in there. Yeah.
And they put the sound effects of vomiting. Oh, that's actually something I forgot from episode 1 was Terrence the snake.
Yes.
In episode
that was
1,
in my note right here, because that style of bit either hits or misses with me, you know, where they're drawing out the most annoying part of the bit where it's like he's trying to cough up the hairball.
Yeah, the bit is
shaped like
what
a little...
did Terrence eat? And it looks exactly like a statue of a boy playing baseball. So it's time for him to cough it up. And there is like a full minute of heaving that they go through.
I mean. It was overdone. But by the time you're getting to the end of it, you're like, you kind of are laughing again. And the payoff is almost right for me.
It's mice again,
unfortunately,
just in the form of a boy playing baseball statue, just sticking there.
Now, if they would have done that a couple of more times throughout, which I don't know, I can't remember if they do in the later 4 episodes. So if they do it again, it'll be more acceptable for the first time, but like just that one-off joke like that, it didn't really...
I hope it does come back once more, because it'll make me laugh. I've gotten up to episode 6, so they've got 2 more episodes to return Terrence the Snake for one more full minute of heaving out something. And what was it? Alan Cummings or something? There was some random person where they're like 37 people believe it's a boy playing baseball. 4% thinks it was Alan someone. We always get that people thinking it's Alan someone there.
Yeah, writing it in, constantly writing in somebody nobody knows.
So we're nearly at the end of the Christmas episode, but they go into church to check out the duck's little duckling performing in the Christmas choir. And we have him still tripping balls and just cheering, yeah, go son, making a big racket. And the ghost of Christmas past comes and the duck is like, whoa, ghost of Christmas past, where are you going to take me? Actually, I'm from the future. Ghost of Christmas Past. This is future you. I'm showing future you the terrible things you've done in Christmas past. So that was a fun little spin on the Ghost of Christmas Past that they had.
Yeah, no, that was good. The writing for the show is we went through a lot of the improvised stuff early on, but it seems like now they're starting to get that flow by episode 4 and 5, more thought out, like you just said, well written things to make a good Dickens joke, combining the present and future.
Christmas Past from the future. Here's future you.
Right.
And I don't think he explicitly says that I'm showing future you what a fuck up he is, so he can stop being Scrooge, but it's heavily implied.
Right.
See, he's got a beard now. Like that was the big difference. Future you has a beard. See,
exactly.
He's got a beard now.
Beards are in the future, and goatees are your evil twin.
Yes, the mirror universe. That is how you can tell you are in the mirror universe, is through the goatees. And South Park actually introduced me to that concept. I didn't become a Trek nerd for a few years after that to see the Tribbles and the mirror universe.
That Tribbles episode is pretty good.
What's really fun, Deep Space Nine is my favorite of the Star Treks, and them using the Forrest Gump technology to send the Deep Space Nine crew back into the Tribbles episode. That was a fun one, because Deep Space Nine got pretty serious. It's a show about war for several seasons in a row, so having that fun little Tribbles episode, or having a Ferengi episode, the Ferengis were just always silliness.
I'm going to have to get into Deep Space. That's probably the weakest one. I watched a few episodes, and that's about it.
I thought Deep Space Nine had a great pilot, and then it took them like Star Trek: The Next Generation. Season 3, they really found themselves. Deep Space Nine has a fantastic pilot, and then I think season 3 they found themselves. So yeah, I'd give that a recommendation. That's my favorite of the Star Treks. Before we get into the Christmas cartoons, Voyager, a lot of potential, a lot of unrealized potential in Voyager.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the one everybody says isn't. It's flatline pretty much. It's meh, but a lot. You're the second person I heard. Not gush, but I should really give Deep Space a good run for the money.
Once I went down the Next Generation rabbit hole, I was like, there's no way there's any other Star Trek series that's going to top this. And I do. I love Deep Space Nine more than the Next Generation. Voyager is fine. It just a lot of unrealized potential. Enterprise. Let's not go down that rabbit hole of the
that was the one I was going to bring up. Not Enterprise.
Yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole unto itself of the problems with Enterprise and the Scott Bakula led ship.
Scott Bakula. And
yeah, we're going to get off that detour and back onto the main road of TV Funhouse. We went through the Christmas episode wraparounds with the animals getting high on Christmas cheer and the fallout. So the first animated segment is a cartoon of Tingles, the Christmas tension. And I almost pulled the clip of mom and dad fighting, and then dad at the Christmas party eyeing up the intern that his coworker's like, hey, get a load of that intern. But I went with this other one to pull to show the family party that Tingles, the Christmas tension, is fucking with.
And you kids may wonder sometimes when you play why your parents can't take it around the Christmas day.
It's all thanks to Tingles and his merry bag of dreams that turns whispers into screams.
On Grandma, on Grandpa, on drunk Uncle Otto, on Cousin Kate with her little out-of-wedlock mulatto.
There's they had to rhyme Otto. Uncle Otto's only there to get to that mulatto joke.
Yeah,
it's too good. It's so funny.
They have the mulatto child to be like, it's 1950s, obviously so here. Happen. So just having a mulatto child, this cousin is thought of very, very poorly because 1950s be 1950s.
Yeah.
And the little whispers that turn into screams with the ears piping up to just hear every little thing. And
excellent.
There we see the cousin immediately starting to get angry now, looking at her big regret that the family hates her for.
Yes. No, and this is such a funny sketch, but because it's real. Like there's so many families that are going through this type of nonsense all the time around the holidays. Not so much recently, but like I remember as a kid, everything had to be done by a certain time.
Oops.
Huh?
Sorry.
Am I still here?
Yep, you're still here. I just placed the next video a little bit early. That was my fuck up.
Oh, yeah, don't scare me. It's my first day, dude. I'm trying not to ruin anything. But like this is another one of those sketches that has like a really dark underlying tone. But still has enough comedy on the surface that you laugh your ass off at it.
We laughed our asses off. I certainly laughed my ass off at every episode here. We had our second little cartoon segment.
In Dad's gun cabinet.
Not the cartoon segment, but the kids, here's some advice segment of where to look for Christmas presents. Some of them are just straight up silly, like inside your favorite toy, where the child destroys his favorite toy to find, hopefully, a new favorite toy, but who knows? It might be Lee Carvello's putting challenge instead.
Not that game. Real quick before we start, it was a big dump truck, and he smashes open this big dump truck and pulls out a box that's like an eighth of the size of the dump truck. So you're like he was destroying this huge favorite toy in order to open up this little present, and I was just like, that's exactly how it works. And smashing open the wall.
Yes, I do have that one in this clip. I believe that fucking up the house and going to dangerous spots. Those were my favorite.
In Dad's gun cabinet.
Yep, right there.
Inside bread. On the roof. The kitchen wall.
With that little clip. the little slip, even as we're showing you, going up to the roof is a good idea. This child almost fucking dies.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, exactly. It's little details that keep you laughing, Little kid with the hammer bashing in the wall. Dude, come on now. The show should have been much more popular than it was. But like we were mentioning before, it was surrounded by South Park and 10 other shows that was trying to be edgy and capitalize on that.
It's just it could be one executive's decision of why this didn't last. And seeing all the content that we've gone through of animals fucking and doing drugs, it might have just been as executive. This is too fucking much. We just wanted your silly celebrity cartoons that make fun of people that you did on Saturday TV Funhouse, which there were some of. Nope, not this episode. Looking forward to the Steadman episode next time we come around. But this one, actually, let's jump right into the cartoons of Mexican Day rather than the wraparound. It started with Fetal Scooby-Doo. I didn't pull clips. I thought Fetal Scooby-Doo was funnier in concept than in execution.
I agree. It was supposed to be like, it was Scooby-Doo, then Scrappy-Doo.
Then a pup named Scooby-Doo.
And now they're fetuses. And so it was a silly episode of that.
Yeah, just it was basically an episode of Scooby-Doo, except their fetuses just kind of floating around with their umbilical cords going off screen. So that's one. And it was the first cartoon. I didn't think it should have been the first one when analyzing what else they had in this episode, because the Joe Camel rebrand, this has been in my mind ever since. The Joe Camel rebrand, the United States just made it in the mid-late 90s, had just made it illegal for cartoon characters like Joe Camel to be used in the promotion of cigarettes. Yep. And I thought Joe Camel was cool. He had those sunglasses. He's a cool looking dude. I still smoke Camels. Fucking shitty job getting me back to cigarettes after 6
I know, man. Really?
or 8 years. But oh boy, what a nice little release when nothing else
chastise you
can
for
get you
smoking.
happy other than pooping and cigarettes. So the Joe Camel, I've got actually 2 clips from the Joe Camel.
Go, Jay Camel!
They decided to rebrand it as Pokemon, and the Pokemon here, they redesigned Joe Camel as Pikachu with a dick nose.
Okay, I was waiting for that part because there's also a female.
Yeah, this is Jane Camel coming out.
All right. Well, shit.
Yeah, we have Joe Camel with his dick nose, and then after every character is introduced, they have a commercial for the toys you can buy with them. I actually cut out the second toy commercial here for Jane Camel and the other ones to get to the other Pokemon because, as I said, I don't want to overdo it with clips, even though this is a clip-heavy show. So here we have Jane Camel coming out of the Pokeball to battle Joe Camel.
Go, Jane Camel! Jane Camel! Oh, Mysteriato, I choose you!
One of my more favorite ones.
Just like a Pikachu type with big old titties and nothing else.
You know, and it makes me want to revisit Pokemon and start looking at them a little more closely because everything they throw out here could be a Pokemon legit if it wasn't so overt.
But yeah,
go Asagor.
Yeah, just getting more blatant as we go along. Exactly. Mysteriato, Paratits, Asagor, and
Slow attack.
Asagor.
Go, Satisfizor!
Oh, and here's the turn. I love the Caitlyn. Just now we're getting into it's a blow up doll, nothing more, and onto the turn of Satisfizor.
Right. It's
Joe Camel is consuming Satisfizor's power.
No, he's got the power.
The power of cigarettes.
Joe Camel
from Satisfizor. And I did pull one more clip from this. I wish they would have put this one up first. The fetal Scooby-Doo. I would have buried that more towards the end of the episode.
I agree. It was probably weak. One of the weakest ones.
Coming up first. You want the stronger things first, rather than the fetal Scooby-Doo, which I guess I can understand. It's well, this is also even bigger of a pop culture thing at the time, the Pokemon, rather than Scooby-Doo.
You do have this one. This was probably the best of all of it right here, right at the end. This was a good part to clip.
Yeah, this one made me laugh the hardest of all the clips of the Joe Camel. Jesus Christ. American Cupcake apparently hasn't seen the Joe Camel rebrand before. Welcome to the Joe Camel rebrand. American Cupcake.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, I did not. They had a toy for every single one of these. I didn't pull every one of those, but I pulled this one of the collectible box of Satisfizor and Joe Camel figures for you to collect them all.
When you catch all 20 Joe Camel figures, you'll receive this free carrying case. The Surgeon General warns Joe Camel might be too much fun.
This
and
is
now,
great,
kids,
too.
you can enjoy Joe Camel and all his friends without cigarettes. Smooth, silky cigarettes. Available in stores.
At first, it's subliminal with a quick flash of cigarettes, and then at the end, just every other one is cigarettes.
I'm glad you clipped that because that's what I wanted to bring up. It peaks because there's like 5 in a row, just like that. Just boom, 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 and you're like, "What the fuck?" Like,
oh, and they go back to back here. Instead of there's anything in between.
Yeah, there's a couple of spots where it's just like cigarette. I feel like Family Guy stole that bit when they were talking about subliminal smoking, when that one guy would just come out of nowhere and go, "Smoke," and yell at you. But yeah, when cigarettes were cheap, dude, it was Camel Filter Soft and Cool Filter Soft. 2 packs of smokes were less than $5. and I had to quit. But I would have 2 packs on me all the time, one for menthol, one for non-menthol. I miss it. I'm glad I quit, but I miss it. I still got ashtrays all over the house, lighters, Zippos, all that shit. I watch Pat Dixon. He makes me want to smoke.
I did not miss
Stop
it
making it
until
look
I
cool.
got a shitty, awful, terrible job. And as I mentioned earlier, pooping and cigarette smoking, that when just everything was miserable. And I'm actually experiencing that again at my new job. I was saying that this job would be great if it weren't for the fucking customers, very much like Randall in Clerks. But oh boy, is corporate ever on a terror of running off qualified employees. Someone let me know within the past year, 42 of the original staff of this location have left because of corporate and the new management they put in place. So I almost entered the corporate world myself, but I was able to get my head halfway up my ass, not all the way up my ass, and that's just unacceptable.
I understand.
Get into the corporate world. So here I am. I enjoy being an underling. I don't enjoy being a boss. Boy, those just regular managers are running scared from corporate over there. I'm enjoying being an underling, getting paid well enough.
Yeah, that's exact. We're in the same boat, dude. I'm happy to be doing this. I want to have time to do this shit. All right, now I'm getting off track again. Back to the Joe Camel.
Yeah, a little bit of fucking around, and then back to the topic. I've mentioned that a good TV show, Celebrity Name Game. They did that in their filming. Very well-oiled machine, and fucked around just enough to have some fun, and we can clip around that.
I'm a rambler. I'll get to talking and won't shut up. That's why I'm glad to be a second mic or a co-host, because you could tell me to shut the fuck up at any time, and I will not take it personal.
Yeah, we've gotten off on a few random bits, but that helps break it up a little bit as we get off on some random bits. There was one, I forget what it was. We went off for maybe a little bit too long, but dialing it in here with me having a second person here who's just not a pre-recorded clip, which I'm used to.
Oh, I got some ideas for that shit too. Hold on, you wait.
Oh yeah, I'll absolutely take them.
Later.
I've got a Discord. Good time to get in the shill segment. Why not? Of my Discord over here, you can join that. And what is this game with Annie? Arkham Knight. It is taking us a long fucking time to beat this game.
And you better post links to this in the Discord. I missed the first Arkham City because I'm stupid and I don't pay attention.
Yeah, Arkham City's one of my favorite games of all time. The Arkham Knight, it's the best narrative of the Arkham series, not the best game. The best game of the Arkham series is Arkham Knight, and me and Annie are still finishing that up. It was supposed to be postponed until this week. I'm still not fucking done. I thought I was at the end. I'm still not fucking done with Arkham Knight. So that is a big game. So it's good to have lots of content in there, but it's 100% the best narrative of the Arkham series, but falls short on being the best game to Arkham City, which is the best of the series. And thank you, folks, for checking this pilot episode out of Successful Failures. If you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, keep on chatting. And once this is done, comment in the comments section. That will help the algorithm to get more people to see this and get me to a monetization point. But really, I just need eyes to get to the paywall, because trusting a social media platform to keep their monetization friendly, no bueno. We've got a lot of good channels falling this week. Dylan from somewhere at gmail.com, DILLON from somewhere at gmail.com for your random creative needs. If you would like to be on Chatting with Beloved Chatters, talk about a successful failure, you can send it there or the Discord. And just random things, editing, basic editing, script doctoring. If you need to get your hoarded house cleaned out, the back room at work is all kinds of fucked up. And when I've had extra time, they are just surprised at what I've been able to do, because I've got basic, or well, I guess better than basic organization skills. So thank you for tolerating my shill segment. We are back to the mnemonic segment.
Wait. I want to show one place, and that's the Spurgtopia Discord.
Oh, yes. Spurgtopia Discord. I believe one of Mr. Quint, my friend, was able just to Google Spurgtopia. and Spurgtopia Discord and find it. A lot of fun stuff going on over there. Doing a little bit of a rebrand to help make sure that it maintains its fun. Mayor Sam V is a really fun guy. We went back and forth on some midget gifts yesterday.
That's the number one.
We go back and forth on Simpsons gifts often.
I was watching the first 4 episodes of this, and I'm like, you know me, dude. I want to cut like 90 gifs out of this. Now, there's so many good ones of just a quick clip, like of. The first episode had a couple that I was like, oh, I need that. I need that clip so I can drop it in the Discord.
I'm too much of a basic bitch to know the simple process of gifting, but if you know that process, there's some. If you don't know how to pull clips, I can help you pull some of those so you can finish them off with a GIF.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely Spurgtopia is it's kind of dabble related, but that's kind of dying, and I'm trying to get it to be more creator related.
Yeah, more broad. As you mentioned, hooking up with creative people. I've actually had some private discussions after meeting Psycho Shaman on there. I believe that we will be on each other's channel at some point. He doesn't have his schedule is more erratic than mine. But
he's
a lot of
shift guy.
A lot of fun people over there at Spurgtopia. Just like over at my Discord.
Yep,
I kick out like the people. Well, I didn't kick out the people causing drama; they let themselves out. But thank you.
That's good enough.
Yeah, they were. I don't want to be the policeman, the adult, saying don't do that. But I shut down my voice chat for a month when they were trying to turn it into creating feuds, and it's like, no, take it somewhere else. And they've taken it somewhere else. Thank you for letting yourselves out. So I didn't need to be mom and dad. Hey, you. Stop fighting.
Yep, I had similar. It's a Discord thing. People just want to start shit, but I share.
That's what some people use it for. I use it for sharing gifts. That's what I wanted my Discord to be, of just like a series of sharing gifts, and that is very often what's happening over on Spurgtopia, is just communicating through silly gifts.
And there was a good conversation I read this morning where 2 guys worked out why their differences of why they don't like each other's show. It was so refreshing to see 2 adult conversations. You know what I mean? Like, there was no name calling. They were just like, yeah, I see your point. And the guy's like, yep, and I still like my guy and you still like yours. That's kind of what I'm trying to get more towards, instead of that you got to get a mentality. I deal with
we're
both facts
trying
and trying to build people up. And if you are kind of like like Kitchen Nightmares, where you got to tear somebody down and then build them back up. Like I feel like Joey C's in a rebuilding phase. He's trying to figure his shit. And we're getting on a tangent again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we gave our plugs there, and now we will finish up the final episode of Mexico Day here on TV Funhouse, where we have another mnemonic device.
I missed this one. I didn't
talk about my children.
I love you, Isaac. You're great, dude.
Isaac Walmart is absolutely a beloved chatter. Thank you for joining regularly, Isaac Walmart. So here, Isaac Walmart, here is a mnemonic device for you to remember the 13 colonies, thanks to TV Funhouse.
Oh, dear. The original 13 colonies. Let's try a mnemonic. Victor, really. I never could stand cocaine. Now heroin, maybe. No jingles, pesky cat. Gosh, now you make doo-doo. Thanks again, mnemonics.
That got them.
You're a dear, dear friend.
I love how it degenerates. Like at first, we have this drug talk, which is really the opposite of my experience of not standing cocaine, but heroin. Like that, this guy must be from Carroll County, Maryland. We were featured on 2020 as a heroin high 1 year. Nice to go, small town Maryland.
Yeah, they happened in the suburb here. They started calling it heroin high.
The degeneration from talking about drugs. No jingles, pesky cat. Gosh, now you make doo-doo.
Just completely incoherent, almost.
Complete nonsense that they get into on that. So those were the cartoon segments. Joe Camel, my
good.
favorite so far. I've got a few more episodes to go. The Joe Camel segment of the cartoon, my fucking favorite of all the cartoon segments so far.
There was a part of that clip you couldn't show, I think, where the Ash Ketchum character summons Joe Camel, and then he goes into battle and goes from flaccid to less flaccid to attack. I don't think that's exactly YouTube friendly, but it's a good episode. It's part of why that one works so well.
Yeah, I decided to pick up at Jane Camel and just describe the flaccid Joe Camel nose getting all erect and attacking. So we have the animals, the Anapals, abandoned Doug on Mexican Day when he is swinging at a piñata and he's blindfolded. All right, we'll just stay silent as you're getting warmer. Just keep hitting. And they wander on out back to their favorite restaurant. You eat what you are, where, as we mentioned earlier, they've come across Dave, the endangered lizard species, who is an absolute shithead.
Yes.
They decide that they're actually going to help this shithead. And they go on the Sally Jesse Raphael show.
That's right.
Well, actually, it's another Man on the Street segment. I didn't pull from that, where they're going into Asian grocery stores looking for endangered lizards.
That's right. What's this?
So that's another fun concept. And Mr. Whiskers, the fat cat, does find a female endangered lizard in the back of this Asian grocery store. They probably didn't exactly understand what was going on. I don't think they would have allowed the implication that their grocery store sells endangered female lizards.
Right out of the back door, yeah.
But here we get on Sally Jesse Raphael coming on as herself, having a good sense of humor about herself, and she didn't do this type of show. Her and Ricky Lake didn't get into the Jerry Springer type fighting, but here in this version of the Sally Jesse Raphael show, it does degenerate. But she did do the makeovers. So here we have Dave being introduced to Helen, the two endangered lizards.
What do you think, Dave? Are you ready to settle down for the sake of your species?
So fucking funny with that puppet, and it took a long time. They did the entrance of this endangered lizard very slowly, making her entrance, and here meeting Dave for the first time, very slowly making her way across the couch.
It was a traditional talk show entrance too. They pulled this huge door out of the way. They do that big glass door slide, and then there's this tiny little, half a foot lizard just waiting tiny on the floor, and the whole crowd reacts the right way. They all just start, "Ooh, hey, look at girl, hey!" And then now he's all pissed off because he's not getting it. It was all sprung on him. He's not aware that this girl was supposed to be out here to meet him. Highly
the crowd is perfect. All the extras and all the speaking crowd members played. They've all seen this. It was part of the cultural zeitgeist of what to do. And what's really fun about this, I've mentioned as a background actor being trained in theater but not film, I would often go too far. I need to be told to reel it back in. And it's when you see bad extras, it's more the second assistant director's fault that you see it. It's their job after they see them doing that to be like, "Hey, buddy, you're at 11. How about let's see a 9, maybe a 7 somewhere in there." But you could not go too far, as this crowd did, going nuts for "Yay, Helen!"
Hey! Oh no! Are you nuts, Four Eyes? Look at it! I ain't gonna screw this skank.
Whoa! Get it! Oh my goodness! Your mother need to put you over her knee. You ain't all that yourself.
Hey! Shut up!
You got a lot of nerve. You not no Raven. You
so over the top and sassy, and having like those, they would be that angry at the people in those 90s talk shows, the Springer-esque talk show, which Sally was like, "Sure, I'll pretend my show is a Springer-esque talk show."
They have to be in a studio on the same floor shooting Saturday TV Funhouse, and they knew Sally was in the next room over there. Like, "Let's go get her." And she said, "Yeah." You know what I mean? Like, she was like, "Yeah, I'll do this, no problem."
Yeah, it's not too hard to make this up. This might have been Sally's set that they were able to just come onto and help save budget from building their own type of set. I didn't realize Sally Jesse was still on this late into the game, but I guess she was.
Jenny Jones too. I had a second shift job, so daytime TV was. I would leave during one of these shows, and when I was in school, you'd get home and these shows, especially Springer. That was probably
Springer was on when I got home off the bus, just in time to catch Springer and his over the top fights. I don't know at what point they started getting actors. Well, some people they came in there knowing it was fake and not telling him it was fake, but at some point Springer was legit with the crazies, and at some point it did get a little bit phony of the crazies that were on Springer.
Oh yeah, no, they were picking up like weirdo anybody. They were taking anybody. If you called in with a story, they just put you up in a hotel and let you run your mouth on TV. It was kind of cool. I really liked it, but trash TV, so it's not any worse than TikTok, dude. It's not any worse than TikTok.
And the Maury paternity test, like some of those women who would come back
8 times.
Yeah, 8, I think a dozen fucking times. And they'd learn not to knock out 3 guys in a row. If I come back one by one, I get a free trip to Chicago.
Right? No shit.
Over and over again, rather than if I keep bringing 3 guys to test if they, free trip to Chicago. Fuck yeah.
Why not?
I'm down for that. I only need to pay for some of the expenses in Chicago. You got my hotel, you got the airfare. Fuck yeah. So here we have the makeover. Since Dave is rejecting Helen, Sally Jesse, another cliche of the 90s talk show, a big, nice makeover.
We're back, and we have finished Helen's makeover. Now, let's take a look at Helen before, and let's see Helen after. Woo! Yeah! What do you think, Dave? Your species is counting on you.
I get it. Now she's just a skank with a damn bow.
Dave.
I love that that's all the effort that they put into, and really, for animal rights activists, they've gotten more staunch across the years. They probably would have gotten a lot of shit if they did anything more to this lizard than putting a bow on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a point to make. There's a lot of animals in this, and they do a lot of weird stuff that probably might not be a little bit 50-50, who knows? Like, I'm pretty sure sticky tack on a bow isn't going to hurt a gecko.
Yeah, putting on some eyeliner, that can get you some shit from those animal rights activists. But a bow with some double-sided tape, it's nothing.
Oh yeah, and it looks good though. That's so funny.
It works out. It works out even better. Like if they made her up even more, it's not as funny as just putting a bow on her head. So Dave here, they convince him, hey man, you can make some money off of this endangered lizard sperm. I know that you don't want to fuck this ugly Helen lizard. So Dave is super kinky. He's into BDSM. They take him to a sperm bank, and there's a bunch of National Geographic magazines for the animals to jerk off to. A bunch of dead ladies, and they're eventually able to find out he cannot come without some BDSM action. The sperm bank, very accommodating, gets Dave a little BDSM action to get that endangered lizard sperm out of him.
Where'd they get the little chain?
Okay. Now really get that bulb up there.
That's as far as it's putting a bulb up his ass. I love that little aspect. The turtle still trying. All right, if you say so. I don't think it'll go any further. I'll try.
It goes. Okay, now go ahead. Go ahead what? Whack me off. You don't expect me to do it. You thick freak. Hey, I don't have any thumbs, you maroons.
We don't have thumbs.
We'll handle it. Nurse Walker.
It's just so adorable, dude. It's like it goes from the raunchiest thing to like the cutest little thing. It's like, oh, adorable, you know?
A little monkey in a nurse's outfit, and she's gonna
Puts
go
a mask
jerk
on.
him off. Oh, it's such a good monkey putting on her hat. Doesn't exactly know how a hat works, but she's doing her job of putting it on somehow.
Oh, she's a candy striper.
Of course, the candy stripers are getting the candy out of the patients. So that is Dave at the sperm bank. Meanwhile, back at the TV Funhouse studio, Doug is desperate to get a guest. He orders some Mexican food to get a real live Mexican there. The guy is Puerto Rican. Doug doesn't really care. Close enough. Come on, let's celebrate with a bottle of tequila.
He doesn't even address it. He's like, I'm Puerto Rican. He's like, okay. Like he doesn't even address it as two separate cultures. You know, he's just like, oh yeah, okay. Do you like fire water?
So that's how they get into. Well, actually, they just want to talk to the worm at the bottom of the tequila.
That's right.
But they can't get to the worm without drinking all of the tequila. So they split a bottle of tequila together. And Doug wants to make a friend. The worm wants to complete his mission of getting eaten. So he sings a little song. Doug downs the worm, and that's the end of the episode.
He chews them up and swallows them and is bittersweet about it.
Yeah, he's having regrets. He does not want to eat his new friend, the tequila worm. But the tequila worm, this is my mission in life. Like a Mr. Meeksies over on Rick and Morty. Existence is painful. Eat me, Doug.
That's right. That's it. That's kind of why I like this show. There are smidgens of undertone of actual stuff, you know, like things that have artistic value like that, or make you dig into a philosophical question. But then it's like the next scene is a chicken having sex with a rabbit. Or something, you know,
cock's cock to get to the drugs that are.
Dude,
on
that was
it.
so good. And then the sheep wakes up the next day, and he's like, "Oh, what happened?" He's like, "You want me to give you the details?" He's like, "No." He's just upset because he knows what happened. Don't tell me again.
He's aware to a certain amount of it. He might have been tripping balls when he went gay to get those sweet drugs, but he cannot confirm nor deny it unless he is told about it. So no, don't fucking tell me about what I did to get that last little bit of Christmas cheer powder that was all over a wiener.
That it was a play on a joke that I heard as a kid to me. If you went camping with all your friends and you woke up with a sore anus, would you tell anyone? And it's like, yeah, I would tell. You would tell somebody about that? Holy shit! No, I wouldn't tell anybody. Yeah, it's probably smarter to keep it to yourself.
So that was part 1 of TV Funhouse. And decided to do a deep dive. I was going to do more of an overview, but when you suggested this, I was like, yeah, sure, let's do a deep dive. Let's get into the first 4. It's only 8 episodes, so we'll do this again in 2 weeks, Wednesday or Thursday. I am broadcasting, that's a radio term. I am live streaming regularly Tuesday through Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. More TikTok around the clock next week. We've got Elkie P, the sexy little college girl, and she's got her titties out in the library this time. So look forward to that. Someone on co-host auditions. Oh, and it'll actually be Monday through Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern next week. I am chasing after some tail. Next Thursday, 2 towns over. I'm going to explore the town while I'm there. It's a cooler town than this town here in somewhere. So that's all I've got. We got out our plugs earlier. Spurgtopia. Discord is where you can find Spurg Snake. I'll be sure to link that into the comments the next time around. But yeah, Mr. Quint is a friend of mine. And when you guys were, there were a few people talking about the turn against Patrick Melton and the Atlantic City shenanigans that were going on in the Hackverse, that I was like, Quint, are you in Spurgtopia? I Googled it. I'm in, because I knew he would just absolutely love that stuff.
Yep. The turn comes for everybody at some point, and the Dabbleverse is definitely turning. Just like the worm in the bottom of that tequila bottle.
The worm has turned. That's just right. Like Porcelain said of Jim Norton.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to keep stealing that line from too. That's where I first heard it, and I liked it.
Was it Porcelain that had the Joe Matarese?
Yes.
I'm so
Three
happy that Carl
documentaries?
Hamburger is now covering Joe Matarese. He is so funny for all the wrong reasons.
Dude, his wife is his doctor, so you know, I mean, yeah, I would like to get some pills from my wife, but I don't know what the hell he's taking. He's just on a combination of things from time to time. And
a lot of that is natural, but yeah, she may be over prescribing her husband. That keeps him out of her hair.
Her hair, exactly. Real quick, and if Porcelain sees this, which I doubt, he did a Joe Matarese podcast. It wasn't Joe Matarese; it was Joey Meat Sauce. And I love it when British people do American accents and he was doing like this real New Yorkie. I'm Joe Matarese, and and he took him down for whatever reason, and I miss it. I want him back.
I can't believe I didn't think of putting Joe Matarese on co-host auditions before Carl Hamburger got onto him. But now that he reminded me of him, he'll be coming up at some point in a co-host audition when I find a solo Joe Matarese show. Co-host audition, TikTok around the clock, and chatting with beloved chatters with KB next Monday through Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining me today, Tommy Secret Snake.
Yeah, I'm always, dude. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks for part 2 of Successful Failures with TV Funhouse. And thank you guys for checking out this new show of Successful Failures. If you have any suggestions for failures we should check out, maybe we think they're successes, or maybe it's a failure, and that falls under another show's category. But that is all for today. Thank you for joining. Now feel free to go away.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for going on this adventure with me. It's fun being with friends. I'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye for now.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day.
Places all. All join hands, circle left. Now circle right and listen to me. LS, MFT. Elementary corners like swinging on a gate. To right, dear honey, with a right to left date. Grand right and left, around you go. Lucky strike means fine tobacco. Meet your honey and give her a whirl. All swing around with the little girl. Smoke 'em, then you'll see. LS, MFT. Promenade and don't you fall. Promenade around the hall. Lucky strike is first again with tobacco men. Promenade straight down the pike. It's time right now for a lucky strike. Yes, for smoking that you're bound to like, you just can't beat a lucky strike.